When people think of battlefields, they often imagine nation versus nation, armies clashing across borders. But in today's world, some of the most dangerous opponents are not countries at all. They are criminal empires. For years, the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico was one of those powers. It wasn't just a drug trafficking network, it functioned like a paramilitary organization, with bunkers, tunnels, armored vehicles, and influence stretching far beyond Mexico's borders. By mid-2025, the cartel was at its strongest, its fortress on the Pacific coast considered, well, untouchable. That belief shattered on June 14, 2025, at 4:12 in the morning, when thousands of US and Allied forces launched an operation that would redefine how the world understood the fight against organized crime. This is the story of Operation Scalpel Strike, a mission that unfolded in just 3 hours, but had ripple effects across the globe. The Sinaloa coast was no ordinary stronghold. Imagine a mix of military-grade bunkers, secret tunnels leading to the sea, and firing positions concealed in dense jungle. More than 2,500 cartel fighters defended it. With heavy machine guns, rocket-propelled grenades, and armored trucks, they had firepower that went way beyond what you'd expect from a typical criminal group. Underground routes allowed leaders and shipments to just vanish within minutes. For years, attempts to dismantle this network failed. US and Mexican units had launched operations before, but each time the cartel anticipated their moves, exploited the terrain, or used locals as human shields. By 2024, the area was spoken of as a so-called no-go zone. Even journalists avoided it. The turning point came when 4 American citizens were kidnapped near Mazatlan in May 2025. Intelligence confirmed they were being held inside the cartel's command bunker. At the same time, satellite surveillance revealed the fortress was producing large-scale fentanyl shipments, drugs linked to tens of thousands of deaths annually in the United States. The decision was made at the White House Situation Room. A direct operation would be launched. The orders were clear: rescue the hostages, neutralize the cartel's leadership, destroy drug production facilities, complete the mission within 3 hours, and, ensure civilian safety. It was an ambitious directive, but the Pentagon believed it could be done. Building the plan meant choosing precision over power. Unlike previous missions, Scalpel Strike relied on intelligence superiority and simulation training. Three-dimensional satellite mapping recreated the fortress, including every tunnel and firing post. Artificial intelligence-enhanced UAVs provided live updates of enemy positions. Special forces practiced on a mock replica of the bunker for 2 weeks before the operation. The plan resembled a surgical procedure: cut off supply lines, strike at command centers, and extract hostages before the cartel could react. At 3 o'clock in the morning on June 14, 2025, engines roared to life off the coast. Avenger drones slipped silently through the mist, dropping precision bombs on radar and communication hubs. Tomahawk missiles targeted artillery emplacements and vehicle depots. Marine units advanced from the beaches with Abrams tanks and Stryker vehicles. Special forces teams infiltrated from multiple directions, blocking escape routes. SEAL teams, supported by helicopters, landed near the command bunker itself. Within minutes, the fortress's outer defenses were in flames. For the first time in years, the cartel found itself on the defensive. By about 3:45 in the morning, one SEAL team reached the underground cells where the hostages were being held. A reinforced steel door was breached with shaped charges. Inside, there were the 4 kidnapped Americans, along with several others who were being held by the cartel. Medical teams immediately checked their condition and attached trackers so commanders could monitor their safety in real time. One group of hostages was airlifted out through a secondary tunnel while the SEALs pressed deeper to rescue the rest. The extraction wasn't without resistance. Cartel fighters fought fiercely, launching counterattacks with machine guns from hidden nests. But, precision artillery and drones silenced each stronghold without damaging the surrounding civilian areas. By 4 o'clock in the morning, All 43 hostages had been evacuated safely. Desperate, the cartel attempted to regroup. Convoys of pickup trucks tried to break through the blockade, but drone-fired missiles destroyed them before they reached the battlefront. In the jungle, fighters tried to retreat into tunnels, but overhead surveillance pinpointed every movement, directing artillery with deadly accuracy. For once, the very network that had made the cartel untouchable became a trap, as exits were sealed and escape routes destroyed. At 5:20 a.m., just over 3 hours after the first strike, the fortress was secured. Explosives rigged by engineers destroyed drug labs and weapon stockpiles. Thick black smoke rose into the dawn sky, a symbol of the cartel's collapse. The results were staggering. 714 fighters captured, including senior leaders. Dozens of facilities destroyed, from fentanyl labs to cash storage bunkers. Massive arsenals seized, rifles, machine guns, explosives, and chemicals. All 43 hostages rescued alive with no civilian casualties. It was a level of success no previous mission had achieved. Analysts later identified 3 key factors behind the mission's outcome. First, intelligence superiority, 3-dimensional mapping, and real-time surveillance eliminated guesswork. Every strike was informed, not improvised. Second, synchronized assault land, sea, and air units moved in harmony, overwhelming defenses before they could adapt. Third, fire discipline. Despite massive firepower, safeguards ensured civilians were never caught in the crossfire. This wasn't just about strength, it was about precision. News of the operation spread quickly. Within just a few days, cartel affiliates in Central America, Europe, and even Africa abandoned their posts or went underground, fearing they could be next. In Mexico, rival groups scrambled to seize abandoned routes, but none dared to openly challenge U.S. forces. International agencies praised the mission as a potential blueprint for fighting transnational crime, using military precision against organizations that operate like armies. Still, experts warned that victory on the battlefield doesn't erase the demand for drugs or the networks that profit from them. Survivors could regroup, merge with rivals, or shift tactics. So, follow-up missions and international cooperation would be absolutely essential. What happened on June 14th wasn't just a tactical win, it was a strategic statement. It showed that when criminal organizations reach the scale of armies, nations may respond with the same tools they would use in war. The blend of technology, coordination, and restraint demonstrated in Operation Scalpel Strike set a precedent for future missions. For the United States, it also reinforced a core message: protecting its citizens, at home or abroad, is non-negotiable. As the sun rose over the Pacific, smoke still billowed from destroyed caches on the Sinaloa coast. A fortress once thought impregnable had fallen in a matter of hours. The operation was not just about weapons or tactics, it was about proving that intelligence, discipline, and resolve can overcome even the most entrenched networks. The Sinaloa cartel will be studied for years as a case of how organized crime can mimic a state. But Operation Scalpel Strike will be remembered as the moment the world saw such a force dismantled in less than half a morning. And perhaps the larger lesson is this: in an age where threats blur the line between crime and warfare, the battles of tomorrow may not be fought between nations alone, but between nations and those who believe they can exist outside the reach of justice.